Communication is a vital part of who we are as human beings. People with dementia can communicate at every stage of their disease. In dementia, function, competence, social interaction, and quality of life are influenced by how others interact with the person. As the dementia progresses, the person might communicate in a more nonverbal and behavioral way. Behavior is a means of communication.
Communication does change as the person with dementia progresses in their journey. It often becomes less verbal because they have difficulty understanding or recalling words, or even in more extreme cases, actually even making coherent sentences. What I often say at my first visits when we make the diagnosis early on is to remember the person inside. As the illness progresses, much gets eroded and they change, but to remember that there is a person in there and they're trying to have a relationship, trying to communicate.
Their brain is going to kind of take a detour and it's going to try to look for ways to answer a question that's been asked or figure out what they need to figure out. Most of us want things done quickly and we move fast, and a person with dementia really needs everything to be slowed down a little bit to give their brain time to adjust and to make the connections that it needs to connect.
Very early on in his dementia, Dad described somebody asking him questions as, you ask me a question and it's like you've shaken a snow globe. And I have to wait for the snow to settle, and then I can come up with the answer for you. But if you say one question after another question after another question, trying to help me answer the first question because I haven't answered it yet, it's like you continue to shake the snow globe, and I can't find the words and I can't answer you.
As the disease progresses, people lose insight and their memory loss becomes more serious, and so they forget that things aren't working so well.
The memory issue, of course, it affects profoundly all kind of communication. It's really been an education for me to become more focused about the role that memory plays in everyday life.
He would forget as quickly as it was the most important thing in his life, he would then forget. So I would try to get him onto another subject. Sometimes it worked and other times it didn't. So sometimes it would be 5 or 6 times asking me the same question in about 10 minutes. And I'd go, oh, come on now, what's going on here?
Hello? Oh, hi. Yeah, thanks for calling back so soon. Oh, that's great. Yeah, 2:30 tomorrow. Okay, Mom. We've got your doctor's appointment tomorrow at 2:30. Okay?
That's good, Tommy. Then we better get going. I'll
Why?
get my coat.
No,
We
tomorrow.
gotta go to the doctor.
No, tomorrow.
No,
Tomorrow.
Tommy,
30,
today.
I was just on the phone with the receptionist.
Oh, Tommy, you're always getting
The
me
doctor's
mixed
all
up.
booked up today, but he can fit you in at 2:30
have-
tomorrow.
I don't
And
want to go tomorrow. I was today. I have something on my foot and I have to
But
see
you
it.
have to wait until tomorrow because we can't get you in today.
I don't
That's
know.
all.
I don't know why you
It will
did
be
that.
tomorrow.
He had it today until you got on that phone. I know that you've gone and spoiled it now because
I
it was
haven't-
supposed to be today.
I haven't spoiled anything. I've been setting up an appointment for you with the doctor.
You don't need to do that.
Don't.
I don't know why
Look,
you're always
you're-
hollering at me.
I just walked in the room. I told you 2:30 tomorrow, and it's gone completely out of your head. Like, why do you do that? Because you don't pay attention.
I
And
do.
then you start to wonder about when things are going to happen because you didn't listen to me the first time when I told you it was 2:30 tomorrow morning.
You don't listen to me, Tommy. I'm
Oh.
telling you, you never listen to me. None of you kids do anymore.
I listen to
don't
you,
know,
but I
say
listen to you when
things
it makes sense. I don't listen to you when you're just babbling like
You
this.
don't need to pick on me all the time.
I'm not picking on you. I'm just trying to straighten you out.
Sometimes we forget we have a long-standing dynamic with a loved one who now has dementia, and that they aren't in the conversation in the same way they used to be. So trying to have patience with that and trying to be more accepting of their inability perhaps to process information that we're trying to convey.
Mom still really understands clearly the words that I'm saying. The issue is for how long. And so the expression in the moment is so real in my experience with my mom. So communication is still there, it's just temporary.
I never tell Cecil, I've learned, not to tell him that we're going out a few hours in advance. I've learned to tell him 15 minutes before we go. Because if I say we're going out for dinner at, say, 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he gets ready.
Hey, Mom, how you doing? How you doing today?
Tommy, what are you doing here today for?
Well, today's a special day.
I don't know.
Well,
Special
do you
day.
remember? You
I
remember?
can't, honestly, I don't know. They make these things different now. I can't peel these anymore.
Okay, well, don't worry about that. Listen, I got something to tell you, okay?
What?
Well, remember you've been worried about your foot, and you wanted
Yes,
to go see
I
the
have,
doctor.
and I've been waiting to go to the doctor, and
Yes.
nobody's come to take me.
Well, I've come to take you because I got you an appointment today at 2:30.
Are you going to wait to bring me home?
Of course I'm going to wait to bring you home. I've taken the whole afternoon off of work, so I'm all yours for the rest of the day.
Well, when Linda takes me, we usually go and have a cup of tea somewhere.
Well, why don't we do that after your appointment while we're waiting for the prescription to be refilled? You know that tea shop you
Yeah.
like? Yeah, maybe we'll have some scones or something
Oh,
too. Wouldn't that be great?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like that, Tommy.
I'd have to step back a bit, say, no, he can't help it. He's trying his best. You just have to help him out.
Just remembering that that person isn't willingly being difficult. They're not willingly making things complicated. They're not willingly getting up in arms. That this is a change in their brain.
What often happens is people lose their words. And the reality is, in most communication, words don't have a huge amount of importance. And so I always suggest that caregivers listen to tone, watch body language, and then be really aware of their own body language and their own tone of voice.
When I sense that there's something that's not playing out well for her, I guess my strategy would be just to kind of shift gears and look for another way. But one thing that I have really come to be aware of is that you just can't count on any one strategy working. That you can have something that's been working really, really well for a long time, and then just all of a sudden it just won't work anymore. And then maybe a day or two later it will work again. But in that moment, it's not working. And so shift gears and look for something else.
When you are a caregiver, you need to take care of the person's feelings and not worry so much about the facts or what's happening or what they're getting wrong, focusing also on what they're getting right.
Sometimes you just think, oh, geez, Dad, I wish I could talk to you, but he's sitting right there, you know. So you adapt in the different ways you change the relationship. Maybe you provide the comfort.
I couldn't sit and discuss current situations. I couldn't discuss what we're going to do. It was just, his world was closing in on him, and he was quite happy watching television.
I think that spouses often really understand each other.
It is very important to be able to communicate. I'm lucky with Rita because she can. Most days, some days she doesn't, but most days we can chat and have conversations, and she and I will have conversations that she could not have with anyone else.
As we deepen into this condition, although the times are shorter and perhaps in some cases farther apart, for me it's recently like quite a bit more frequently, I'm finding that my mum has a way of telling me things that I find are really, really profound. But what I'd like to suggest is that in even the tail end of this whole journey, that there can be just such wonderful things that can be gained as a caregiver from your connection with this person. There is an end, but even right up to the end, there are such wonderful and profound opportunities to learn about oneself, about life, that even if it's just a short moment, it is real in that moment, and it's a beautiful thing.